This is a conversation with Vasudeva. So, his name is Vasudeva. He was born in Russia and he took up an Indian name. He resonated so much with India's spiritual traditions and with the cultural and spiritual traditions of cultures across the world. He has picked up these beautiful dances and songs in their traditional methods from India, Africa, Latin America, even the Maori tribes in New Zealand and Australia. And all of this has come together as a part of the Dances of Universal Peace, a practice that was started by his guru. And I have had the pleasure of taking workshops under him, and these have been my favorite experiences from all of my life so far. So I hope you enjoy the conversation. Hey, Vasudeva, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You spend time in all these different countries, spend time with people, the locals, traditionally practicing their music and dances, and how all of this was so connected with the largeness, the oneness of everything. And so I would like to know your personal experience with all of this.
Mm, Okay, thank you for asking such questions. Yeah, I don't know where to start, but what just came to me, I traveled a lot all around the world, and I even stayed in Native American reservations. And also I went to New Zealand and met Maori tribe. Yeah, so and it happened that when I came to America and I stayed with Native Americans, I learned about their culture. And after that, I was learning more about my own culture, about Slavic culture. And what I found out is all these cultures, they're mostly about the same, about connecting us as human beings with the nature and spirit. So all these rituals and dances and songs, they are dedicated to this purpose, and they're so similar, and the meaning is the same actually beyond all of it. Yeah, and they were used for that for like thousands and thousands of years. We are as human beings. Danced and sang the songs, and we touched the earth, and with our how to say, mind vision, we touch this stars. And it's very important for human being to be in touch with ours. Because when we are like in cities, we are closed in rooms and with these walls, with this limited space, and we hear all this artificial sounds of cars or whatever is there, and we don't see nature much. We are insulated from nature and from the spirit as well, because nature, it's a manifestation of spirit, and it's like how it's talking to us, how it's communicating with us, and we, how to say, we like locked, and we don't have much energy for happiness. But in nature, we are connected with all of it, and we feel it, we enjoy it, and all our five senses are enjoying it. We receive all this blessing from the nature, from the spirit, and we are happy. And it is true, yeah. And the sound and songs, they are about it. They are connect, they especially to connect us with it. Yeah,
Now,
yeah. Maybe I say more like this. How to say it? When we sing and dance, the songs we through the singing, this through the music, like it actually comes from the more subtle realms. which we don't perceive with our five sen- senses. So it comes from above, I would say, from the high planes, and this music comes here. So through the music we connect back to these realms, to these planes with our soul, actually. So yeah, it's how it is. That's how it works. It's what I see.
Yeah, yeah, this is what you have experienced.
Yeah, it's my experience. Yes.
Fascinating. So like we have been sent to this world, this plane, and we have all these mysterious ways of connecting with the other planes, like the largeness of it all. And so every culture around the world has invented or discovered different ways of touching the higher realms. Yes. Currently, we are in India, so there are many different traditions which touch upon this in different ways.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, music and dancing has been a discovery. It's so
Mm.
so. At first, I did not even understand what is happening. Was it just even with when you do not understand it, you do not try to do anything, it still does its work on you. S- So when I was singing in groups and I was dancing with you in your workshop, so I do not understand why what exactly is happening, but it was magical. Like it was just doing its work on me. Wow. So you have also explored yoga and meditation as well, and these are also a part of your life. But you're dedicating your life to the dances, and so we like to talk about falling onto this path in particular for this life.
Yeah, maybe before talking about it, you just talked about cultures and Indian culture. So rich, so ancient. When you have this Indian classical music and singing, it's ragas, and certain ragas can be performed only in certain time. And yeah, and you know why? Because it's not just an art. It is really communication with higher realms, with higher beings, and each raga is actually living being. Yeah, and when musician performing raga, this being, as he just invoke this being here, and it's this being is playing music through musician or through singer. So we can communicate directly with this, like the devas they called in Indian culture through the music. It's how I know, and what I know, what I perceive, how I see it. So the dances of universal peace, they are very similar through certain melodies and certain mantras, sacred phrases. We invoke these divine qualities. We invoke divine beings, so like devas, gods. So their energy, their presence into our life, actually. Yeah, so they're here. Like, there are some people who can see angels, like devas. So what they told me is that when we dance the dances of universal peace, they say they was so amazed because they saw so many angels coming and dancing with us because it's like flowers to bees, like flowers attracts bees. So our dances and singing attracts angels. So they just fly, come to us, and they dance, and not only dance because there's during the dances of universal peace, it's deep transformational work is going on. So they come and help with it. So it's actually their work. It's their duty to help us in this process of transformation. So they're all there when we dance. That's how I see it.
That was so interesting, and that was the most accurate description of what these music forms do. Because classical Indian music, I again am able to feel that it's something much larger, much beyond than I cannot describe its beauty in words, but actually you just did. Yeah. And that's so in India there has been this systematic method of training in Indian classical music over several years. Uh, so do other traditions also have this training, or they're more feeling based, or yeah, what's your experience being?
I mean, every tradition is special. So Indian classical music is very special. It's very different and it's very natural. It comes from cosmos, from nature, and I mean, all of course, all of it comes from there. And but India has very strong tradition, which is thousands and thousands years old, and still keeps the same. Like it's just going in this lineage. Yeah. So, but what I want to say, so through all of it, like we feel the experience, we become more cosmic beings because we live not only like in this piece of land and this town, this earth, we live in cosmos. And so it just, and our soul belongs to cosmos. So it comes from there, comes to here, to this earth, to this physical embodiment, this physical form, but it comes from cosmos. It comes from very high realms. So, and through music, we are again connected back with our home, from where is our soul come from love actually, and we experience all of that through music, through dance, and we touch with our soul, with who we are. So it's how I see it.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree that India is a special place when it comes to all of this. At the same time, I've been to Africa, and so I somehow feel India has the most complex, most advanced version of all of this. Like this understanding goes in a lot of depth and breadth. But I felt like Africans, and also based on my experience of Latin American dances, it feels like they just do it very simply. It's like they're just they don't think too much. They do not have very elaborate theories about the astral worlds and everything, but they are so connected. They're just natural way of being in the nature. Their entire lifestyle, from getting up to sleeping, from birth to death, it's also integrated with nature. That they very naturally just end up touching those realms without years of training, but we should reading thousands of words of text.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, each culture has its own tests, its own qualities, depending on where it is, on the people, on the place, on the nature. Like it's very different, like on the in cold countries than in warm countries. So it's all very different. And yeah, so there's some, yeah, like in Africa, they live very simple, very natural life there, and but if like every country has its own very like place, its own uh flavor, and India has amazing flavor which I love so much, and because of its richness, because it's like very ancient culture, Vedas and like rishis, like this Maharishis. They, as I know, because I study in ashrams in India with gurus. I study Vedas, yoga, and all this. What I know from this Sapta Maharishis, they present here on planet Earth during whole history of humankind, physically, actually, yeah. And they are helping to humankind to go through all this evolution steps, and they helping to keep balance between all these forces which are working all the time and which makes our evolution possible. This negative and positive poles which are always there and which makes our life not easy actually, but we need it for our growth. Like my Guruji says, God doesn't have any other tools to make us grow, but to put us into difficult situation. So that's why the humankind has all these difficulties, because it's also growing. As each of us growing and all humankind is growing in all planet Earth, it's also life being and it's also growing together with humanity. So it's how it's created in this universe, and this Sanskrit language was given directly by Maharishis, and it has direct connection with cosmos, with the divine. Like each letter of Sanskrit correspond to each vritti, each feeling which human being experience. So they all are written in these petals of the flowers, which symbolically represents each chakra. They join as uh, flowers with petals, and each petal represents each feeling for which this chakra is responsible, and each of them has one Sanskrit letter. So every Sanskrit sound correspond to every feeling which we experience as human beings. So this is like very strong culture. Vedas, it is just knowledge. It's not religious. It's knowledge about universe and human beings, and how it's all created and interconnected. So it's about this, and so India is very rich culture, richest in the world, I would say. Yeah. So, and it has all this knowledge. But now, like, we are transmitting from Kali Yuga to Dvapara Yuga, which is more spiritual energy will be on in solar system and on planet Earth. So more knowledge is available, and people perceive more subtle energies in Dvapara Yuga, because in Kali Yuga people could perceive only what they could sense with their five senses. It's only this, like only physical plane. But when humankinds go to Dvapara Yuga, we perceive more subtle energies. So in Vedas, they say when humankind uses electromagnetic fields widely, like electricity, everything like radio, computers, it means it's beginning of Dvapara Yuga. So now it's beginning of Dvapara Yuga on our planet, and it's good. It will be real life. You'll have more light, more spirits of life of humankind on this planet now.
Wow, that was very interesting. Towards the end, you just mentioned that now we are using radio waves,
Yeah.
electromagnetic waves. So, in a way, this wireless communication, because we also have a means of wireless communication.
Yes.
We are all connected, and then those of us who have developed a little more
Yeah.
perception, we are able to feel that we're connected.
Yes.
We're able to communicate.
Absolutely.
So, because now humankind has invented this technology itself, indicates the beginning of Dwapar Yuga.
Yeah. 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 It's true.
Now,
It's true. But yeah, of course, we have these tools already in our bodies. Yeah, and physical bodies, subtle bodies. So yogis, they don't need smartphones to communicate. Yeah, so they can call each other telepathically and talk with each other and communicate with each other. They don't need airplanes to fly. They just fly without it.
so those of us who are amateur yogis, so we know that we have this communication, but we do not have complete control over. So we know that, let's say I'm tied up with another person, and whatever this person does affects me. Whatever I do affects this person. Very unable to communicate at times. It's not really in our control right now. It just so erase the best.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just our growth. So we grow as a human beings to who we are actually. So we are souls. We are much more than this body, than this mind, and this personality. So soul doesn't have a limitation. It's atma. It's spirit. But when atma identify itself with the body, it's called jiva.
Yes.
So jiva is always in motion. So when we are body, our body is in motion. It's all moving, and it's like maybe it's part of nature, and it's our mind is always in motion. We always have thoughts. It's very difficult to stop the mind. Those who practice meditation, they know it. Normal people, they don't practice meditation, so they don't watch their mind. They don't know what's going on there in their mind. So they actually slaves of their mind.
Yes.
So they follow these thoughts, which can guide them to wrong directions. Like my Guruji says that mind is very good tool, but very bad advisor. Yeah. So we have to listen to our soul, to our heart, for advices. So like Native American says, follow your heart. Yeah. And as we grow, we are like more sensitive. We can perceive more things, and we can communicate, and we can see how it's all interconnected. It's absolutely right. Everything in this life is interconnected. That's why there's some yogis who just sit in caves in Himalayas and they meditate and they connect the planet Earth and humankind with the divine planes. It's their job. They do it as a service. They like staying in bodies for like hundreds of years, just serving to connect us. Like because we all connected. We connected with them and they are presented here in physical body on this planet. So, and they connected with us. So, like Native Americans, they do this rituals called the sun dance. I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah, so it's very strong practice. I never saw it, but they told me how it is. So the sun dancers, they are very respectful in Native American culture because it's not easy to do. So it's actually prayer. It's form of prayer, a form of tapas, askeza tapas. So what they do uh, from the sunrise, the sun dancer starting its dance. Means some other people they just playing drums for the dance. So in this rhythm, so the sun dancer he dance all the day looking at the sun from the sunrise to the whole day to the sunset without stop, without food, without water, without anything. Just prayer. It is his prayer. Then it's night. He is not allowed to lay down to rest. He just sits, sitting at night. And then the next day, and no eating, no water, no food. Next day, he is dancing again from the morning to the sunset, from all day without water, without food. So, and then 4 days like that. So, there is no way that body of human beings could uh, manage to do it, could bear it, could stand it. So it's possible only in spirit. So they're so deep in the prayer, so they completely get into the spirit. And only in this way it's possible to do it. It's like, so they are not quiet in body, they are completely in spirit, they dedicate themselves. And they pray, and they pray for all of us. So in a Native American tradition, it's not allowed to pray for yourself. You can pray only for other beings, but never for yourself. So they pray for all of us, for all humankind, for all living beings on the planet Earth. And they believe that this earth is alive and we didn't have the nuclear war, for example, because of their prayers. Yeah, it's their belief. And I believe it's true because we all interconnected. So they get so much into spirit. I mean, their body, like no one's body can handle it, can do it, but only in prayer, in deep tapas, deep askeza, in the deep prayer, it is possible for the body. So it's how it is all interconnected. It's how I see.
I'm really tempted to go to South America, experience about these traditions. So coming back to music, and so have you trained in any forms of music? Have you under a guru in any part of the world?
No, I didn't have any special learning. Yeah, it was when I was schoolboy. I learned to play guitar and just learned some songs, like popular songs when I was in school, and then I was in university, and I just loved to play and sing. And then I was in the sports camp, and we had like every evening in the sports camp we had dances, just normal dances with this loud music, and people just dance. And then at one evening, my friends came to me and asked Vasudeva, please come. We don't have electricity and there is no music. Please play your guitar and sing. So, and there is no mic, and I went there and because they asked me and I started to play and sing the popular songs and people just started to dance. I guess it was the first dances I led in my life. And then several more, like several times more people came because in other camps also there was no electricity, so they didn't had any dances. All these people from nearby camps came, so it was the crowd was much more than usually we had, and so we all danced and like several strings in my guitar broke, but I was still playing and singing. It was the first experience. But then, yeah, then I met yoga when I was 21. And then I met acharyas from India. They were teaching yoga and kirtan as well. So kirtan is an amazing practice when we sing the names of God. And what they say is that God presents as a name in the vibration. So kirtan is very powerful practice because it's just cleansing our mind. And this energy is just cleansing us, and we just feel the energy and presence of the divine through it. So I started to do kirtan, so I played guitar. So when I made the Dances of Universal Peace, it was in 1988. Yeah, so I just fell in love with it, and I just started to lead them straight away. And I already played guitar, so it's how it happens. So, and I'm not a professional musician. So if I need to find right chords, sometimes I can do it, sometimes I cannot. I just ask professional musicians to help me to find right chords for the song. Yeah.
But when you're actually playing during the workshops, and I think it's not a matter of professional skills. I think there's something else. But I've experienced this. I've experienced, and you just get into a different rhythm altogether. And I think a lot of times you end up playing chords you do not know before playing them, and you just with the feeling and with the energy the energy of the group altogether and the angels that descended.
Yeah, I don't know if I say you one story from my life. I was studying in England in Schumacher College, in ecological college, spiritual ecological college in Totnes, in Devon, south of England. And in the hall they had like a piano clavecin. It's old styled, very nicely sound, and I never played the piano actually in my life. So I just sit there and I started to play, just listening the sounds, and I just playing. I got very deep into meditation, just playing on this instrument. I didn't know how long it was, maybe like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. And then I finished. I heard a lot of like clapping. I looked around, there were like many people, they came for the music and they were listening me and they were so touched by this music and it was like clapping. And it was my first time when I ever played piano in my life.
So when you're talking about these energies and chords that are invoked from different ragas, different music, different companies. So recently I was in Gokarna, and so you have met Swamiji in Gokarna, and so this was my first time when I attended a Havan ceremony. So as I told you, I was born in the Jain tradition. So we are very minimal on rituals and everything. So my family do not practice a lot of these other traditional Indian methods. And for the first time, I felt it was so powerful singing the Mahamrityunjay mantra.
Yeah.
And and I asked it to do something. So Swamiji said, if there's something that you want to burn away or give away from your life, you just mention it. So I did not took it seriously. I just casually mentioned, okay, I would like to burn this. And it was so strong. Like after that, I could feel something like with the fire and with everyone singing the Mahamrityunjay mantra, pouring that it into that fire. I was like, oh my God, it, this is just burning something in me. And like, so now I'm beginning to realize how powerful all of this is.
Yeah.
Want to, so like, you can respond to that. And particularly, I want to understand if we need to be careful about harnessing these energies. They're so powerful. There are so many different gods, so many different kinds of energies. Once we become perceptive to these energies, uh, yes, how do we, is there something that we should be careful of, something I should be careful?
Yeah, I want to say something about it. Yeah, because yeah, in India you have such a lot of rituals, Vedic rituals, which performed exactly as they was performed thousands of years, and but many people they just do it automatically without like putting meaning into it, without uh, feeling it, without prayer, I would say. Yeah, so just automatic rituals, they mechanically doing it. And also, I want to like say one bridge which I heard from my friend. It could be in any country, in any religion. So, but it was like about like one yogi, and like he was like he could see all these things. So he just entered the temple, no matter what kind of temple, Hindu, whatever. And there was a priest. He was doing all the rituals, very, yeah, he was doing like this serving rituals. And so people was there following on this service. It can be like any temple. It can be like Christian temple, no matter on Hindu. So this yogi looked and he saw that it was a devil in form of the priest doing all these rituals. Oh, and he was very curious. This yogi, he was like watching him very carefully how he's doing all this, and he noticed that he was doing everything correctly, precisely. Everything was perfectly done on the service in this temple. So, and this yogi was very surprised. Then after service, when everyone left the temple, he came to this priest and say to him, I see that you are devil. And but why you did everything correctly, everything exactly as it should be done? And then this devil answered, yes, absolutely, I have done everything absolutely correctly, but without love. That's why all these people who came to the temple, they did not receive anything. That's all. Yes. And So I like the saying from the Course in Miracles. It says, everything what you do from love will be right, and everything what you do without love will be wrong. So this is like meaning. So when we do this rituals, it is like it is a language. It's like words which we say. It's like symbols. There, it's the forms. So if we do it correctly, if we do it as our prayer, as our offering, as our love, then it works. It's how it should be. If we do it without it, it's just nothing. Yeah, I just form. I just empty. It's dead. Yeah, it's my the opinion.
Is it nothing or is it can do the reverse?
It can do reverse if you put the negative energy. Of course, it will do reverse. Yes. Yeah.
So we have to be careful.
Yeah.
And yeah, love is the ingredient, but along with all the processes, all the
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
so when in Vipassana meditation, so you have taken Vipassana.
No, I didn't take any Vipassana in this lifetime.
Even there, towards the end, they have a practice to called Maitri Bhav, something, which is just spreading love, soft and
Yeah.
doing intense meditation. Then you have to conclude it with love.
Yes.
As he, that felt very right.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's like very important to fulfill what we do, like to give really meaning to what we do and what we say. Like all the saint people, they um they say what they think and they do what they say. It is the only difference between holy saint people and us, because we see like normal people, especially politicians, they say one thing, they think one thing, they say another thing, and they do the third thing. So it's not like that. But the same people, they say what they think and they do what they say. That's why every their word materializes. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I would definitely note that down. And this is what I'm trying to do as well. Is when I work in jobs and companies, there is a lot of difference between all of these. So it slowly erodes me. So I accumulate a little bit of money because I feel that I need the money. But then the damage is so much in internal sense. Then I get out of the work and then I have to recover from it. I have to again align myself. And in that process, I spend all the money. If again, have to align my entire life with this time I have to be careful of not going back into another kind of work just for money.
There is like this wonderful, wonderful story described in the book of Swami Rama, book is living in with Himalayan yogis. And there is it's shortly there is about one man who met a yogi, and he was just normal man, and and this man was in trouble, and he asked for the help from the yogi. And yogi say to him, just from now, tell only truth. That's all, and it will resolve. And no matter through how much trouble will you go, it will resolve all your problems. So he promised him to say only the truth. So he started to say only truth. So all his colleagues and the jobs and the work was very upset. So he was fired from the job. So his wife divorced him, and he finished in the jail. Like after months after that, like there was so much trouble in his life because he was saying only truth. So much trouble that he ended up in the jail. Like 1 month after he started to do it, he was in the jail, and he was like thinking, "Why am I doing all of that?" But because he was keeping doing it, the universe did everything. Like there was they like in court they found it that he was right, he was telling truth. So he got released from the jail. Then his uncle died and all his inheritance went to him, so he became very rich, and his wife came back and wanted to marry him back, but he said no, I don't want money anymore. So all his life became much better than it was before, and he was like keeping it like, and it's like it's not easy. It's so big tapas ascesa to say all the truth because all this world around us, a lot of it based on lie, you know. Yeah. And it's for people, it's not comfortable or to hear truth, to see truth, and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
This also sounds quite heavy. So like when I go into these ideas, but then the dances again make it easy. Uh, Just surrender to the dancing and the singing gods, the music gods, and then they do their job. I think then natural state of being becomes so light. Then you don't want so much that you would go and speak lies. And then already at this palace level. But how, so you've also studied the Vedas, you've been through different ashrams, and yes. So everything has contributed to everything, even with the dances and the music and the verses. You have a much deeper understanding of everything because you have also done everything else. But dance is primarily what you do. Mm. Um, so yeah, at the moment, I'm also very, I want to take my life into this direction, music, dance, culture, arts. And I'm, so because I come from the background that I come from, at the moment I'm exploring using AI to make music, using artificial intelligence
yeah,
to make music, to write songs, to create music.
nice.
And so this might not sound right to, uh, but yeah. So after this conversation, I'm going to further contemplate about what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do there.
Yeah, try to play natural music and I do hear that like bamboo flutes and like yeah, drums and other natural guitars also like yeah, sounds like which makes natural sounds, and it's yeah, it will be more efficient and you it's direct connection with nature and yeah, with energy.
So any natural instruments.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yes, yes.
Yes, definitely. So as I said, I was in Africa, so they were using a harp made out of wood,
Wow.
and the strings were also from natural material.
Wow.
And also,
Yeah, he see, yeah, it's all it's possible. So try to do it, and you know, through the dances, we like because it's just this songs, music, and dancing. It's just changing energy of all our bodies, physical body, and all our subtle bodies, and then our lives also changing because like it's much more easier because it's like cleansing. We are more open, and we are more open to all these devils, angels who constantly working with us. They have messages for us, but not always we can hear them and listen them. So we became more sensitive. They do like the divine plan for us is much nicer than our own plan for our life, you know. And then they became open and you can hear their messages, what plans they prepared for us already here. And then we just follow, and then our life becomes much more easier when we cooperate with them. Yes. Because then we just part of it and we don't need all these troubles through which we are going through. Like, yeah, all these difficulties are needed for us, of course, that we could get this experience that we don't need anymore. Like, you want. And it's all created from mind and from our thoughts. So we became more aware of our thoughts, and so they become more high and connected, so we just fulfill our purpose in this life for what we are living here. Yeah, and then we are happy. Every being, every human being which fulfill his her purpose of life, happy. If we don't do it, they are unhappy.
I think that's a lot of very good advice for me at this stage of my life, and I would continue to listen back to the conversation. I'm glad we recorded it, and I hope it will help other people also. So
You're freaky.
trying for your afternoon nap, and in the evening we dance again.
Yes, we dance again soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed listening. If you would like to stay connected with the guest or with me, you will find some links in the description. I hope to see you in the next episode.